God said something quite interesting to me in conversations with God. She said, do you realize that you are defining me, creating me in every moment of your life? That is, life collectively and you individually are actually creating me as you go along. I am what you create me to be. I had never thought of it in those terms. I had never thought of God being that which we are choosing for it to be through the experiences in which we engage. Had never occurred to me. So that's another way of saying God is only as great as we decide that he is. Can't be any more than we choose for her to be. So now I see the power of divinity in our hands is immense. We have the power and the ability actually to cause God to be what God will next become. We are in the process of creating God. All of life is. Fortunately, the job is not left up to me alone. All of humanity is doing it. Fortunately, the job is not even left up to all of humanity. All of life on the earth is doing it. Fortunately, the job is not left merely to all life on the earth, but all life anywhere is doing it. That is, life in the cosmos, life everywhere is about the same thing. So at least at that level, I feel a bit relieved that the whole responsibility is not on my shoulders. Nevertheless, what is on my shoulders is the opportunity to express and to experience the wonders of the divine, even as I create those wonders through the choices and decisions I make. That's a whole new way to contextualize one's life. It's, in my observation, an astonishing way to contextualize one's life. Now, having said that, a practical person would say, you know, Neale, that's all very lovely. What a wonderful esoteric conversation. But how does that apply to or impact upon, some practical basic decisions in life? Like, what in fact will I do for a career? Who in fact will I marry? What in fact will I eat? What in fact should I wear? You know, all the decisions, large and small. How does that holding affect or impact that? It changes the parameters of the decisions. We no longer make decisions about career, for instance, based on whether we think this particular career choice or that career choice is going to advance us in the world of income and livelihood. We don't start doing things and making choices to do things based on our idea of the financial impact of those choices. We have suddenly different parameters with which to make those choices and decisions. Not is it good business, but is it a good life? We become, in fact, one of those people who chooses to make a life rather than a living. The irony of that is that people who make those choices, who serve that highest thought, often make a better living than people who don't. That's the irony. And there's a reason for that, because when you make the choice based on your highest notion of the grandest version of divinity that can flow through you, and we'll talk about individual talents and skills in a minute, but the highest version that can flow through you of divinity, when you make that choice, you open the channels of energy of life itself to flow through you such that inevitably it produces astonishing and positive results. That is, the strain and the stress of the process of doing a thing called making a living suddenly falls away. And people around you will ask you, I don't know, how do you do that? You always seem to have plenty of money. I mean, look at her. She always has plenty of money. How does she do that? And furthermore, she's not even stressed about it. Don't you hate that, people who are doing so well? And they don't even look stressed. They look always happy. Can't you at least look stressed? At least we could then justify you having all that cash falling out of your ears all the time. But no, she just does what she wants. Doesn't that just make you mad? But see, what Debbie has learned, inadvertently or deliberately, one or the other, doesn't matter, what she's discovered in life, she's discovered a rule of the road. These are the rules of the road. She's discovered, one way or another, that when you, who put it this way? Was it, what was the writer that put it this way? Follow your joy? When you follow your joy, when you follow your ecstasy, when you follow your bliss, Joseph Campbell, thank you. Well done. When Joseph Campbell, when you do what Joseph Campbell advises and follow your bliss, do what you love and the money will follow. Somebody else wrote, do what you love and the money will follow. But you see, it won't matter even if it doesn't. That's why she's so successful. Because you can't do what you love and the money will follow if you think that doing what you love is going to cause the money to follow, because then you're not doing what you love, you're doing what you think you need to do to cause money to follow. Did you just follow that? See, so you can't get trapped in that maze, in that circular logic. So the reason that a short-haired blonde lady has such a successful life is that she follows her bliss irrespective of whether she expects it to produce abundance. That's not the reason she's doing it, because someone said, do what you love and the money will follow. She says, you know what, I'm going to do what I love whether the money follows or not. That's a whole difference. I'm going to write a book called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow Unless It Doesn't. At least that'll clarify so people don't get that it's a guarantee. See, but when it's okay with her, whether the money follows or not, she opens the energy field even wider. She opens the channel of the flow of energy even more. Because the stress and the strain of thinking that, well, if I do what I love, the money will follow. If I do what I love, the money will follow. That stress and strain disappears. It doesn't matter to her if she's flat broke. I guarantee you, having spent the last 4 days with this person, that if she were flat broke, she'd be just as happy as she is with money falling out of her ears. And because that's the nature, that's an internal choice that she's made about life and about herself. And when you put those two ideas together and work them simultaneously, life has no choice but to say, okay, all right, whatever, you get a pass on this one. We won't stress or strain you because you're having none of it. You're simply having none of it. See, as you believe, so will it be done unto you.